Well, hello everybody. Doug Rucker here with DougRuckerSchool.com and DougRuckerStore.com. We've been selling a ton of the Kingslingers this spring. Everybody getting ready for the big spring push as everybody reopens. And it came apparent to me that I don't have a good detailed full video on how to install the pump station to the compressor, how to plumb it, all of that. So I'm going to go over that coming up next. Okay, guys, a couple things. Getting started, your plate, your pump station will come separately. I always recommend that you buy this compressor from Northern Tool on your own through locally going in and picking one up, or online and having it shipped directly to you. You own the compressor, so it's best that you deal with Northern Tool yourself. That way, if you have any issues with the compressor down the road, you can deal directly with them. You don't have to go through us. If you want us to purchase the compressor for you and kind of order that for you, have it shipped to you, we do charge extra to do that. But you're still going to own it, and you're still going to have to be the one that handles any warranty issues whatsoever with the compressor. So we can facilitate getting it to you. I think we charge $7,500 more if we do that, just because of the time involved. So, but I always recommend that you purchase the compressor yourself from Northern Tool. It's this industrial brand 4-gallon pontoon compressor. And there is a link to this compressor on the Doug Rucker Store website where you can click on it and order it directly from them. So what happens is when you order your compressor, you get it shipped to yourself, go in the store and pick it up or whatever. We're going to ship your plate, the pump station, separately. That's going to come in a box. It's packaged really, really well. We do a unique thing where we package this so it's to eliminate damage. We had a few issues, not a few, probably a couple, but every time I have an issue, I try to correct it and try to fix it and try to make it better. And so we actually set this into a box, and it has foaming material or insulation or whatever, packing material that actually inflates inside of it and just kind of surrounds the whole thing. So it really helps to eliminate any kind of issues via FedEx or UPS, tossing a box around or whatever. So that's how we're going to ship the plate to you, the pump station to you. It will come just like you see with the 10-gallon per minute pump. That's the largest size pump that they make. I know there's been advertised out there 12-gallon per minute. There's no such thing because FlowJet only makes 5-gallon per minute pumps. This is 2 5-gallon per minute pumps that are stacked together. And so that's the highest that you can get. If I could get 12, if I could get 14, I would do that. I know CleanRight advertises a 7-gallon per minute pump, but it is not a 7-gallon per minute pump. It's actually a 5. FlowJet has not made anything larger than a 5-gallon per minute pump, single pump, for years. And so there's a lot of misadvertising out there. So 10-gallon per minute, that's the largest you can get. One of the things I do want to note is that when you get it, sometimes we have questions. There's like only one screw here, here and here and here. There's not a screw, but there is another one on the underside, but that is correct. So when you get it and it looks like screws are missing, that's how it's built. That's how it comes from the factory. I'm going to move this camera just a little bit. So don't worry about that. That's the way it comes. So we ship the pump station to you in a box so that all you have to do is attach it to your compressor, and I'm going to go over that next. Okay guys, so you've got your compressor, you've got your pump station, and now it's time to install it. And so what I use is a couple of these type of adjustable vice grip clamps. You could use an adjustable vice grip pliers if you wanted to, but I like these. And what I do is work on getting this positioned in the right place. I want to get it as high as I can up, and I want the holes for where I'm going to drill the holes into the compressor, I want those kind of in the middle of both bars over here. So you get, when you get your pump station, you get all the hardware, and this is all stainless steel hardware. This is not cheap stuff that we buy from Lowe's or whatever. So you get lock nuts, lock type nuts with it, and the bolts and all that. So they'll already be in there, just lightly attached, and so all you have to do is take them off. And then you want to get your pump station situated to where you want a little bit of room underneath this hose, so this isn't hitting the bottom of the surface of your trailer or your truck or whatever, wherever you're going to install it. So get it up a little bit high. I'm going to move this camera so I can show you one of the things that we do. I noticed when we were building these, that this cam lock fitting here was a little bit hard to get off. So as you can see, this one sticks out a little bit more than that. That's because we put a little nipple here to bring this out. It makes it easier to get this cam lock fitting on and off if you ever need to. I've never needed to take it off. I hope I'm holding the camera right where you can see. But I always suggest when you're going to put this plate on, put these cam lock fittings on first. It makes it so much easier. So they're already on there when you fit everything, and you know the space that you need. And I kind of get them, you know, to where these are going to be easy to open should I ever need to take that off. Okay guys, so when it comes time to drill your holes for bolting this to the compressor, if that's what you're going to do, a lot of guys put this on a separate place on their trailer or truck. That's okay, you can do that too. On both my trailer and my truck rigs, we have this attached to the compressor. It just makes it a nice small footprint. But one of the things that's kind of tough to do is get your drill in here and get it straight. So these manifolds here have clips right here. One goes down, the top one goes down, this one goes up, and you can pull these off. They just slide right out. Just gotta make sure you get the clips, and they'll pull right out. Okay, so this is the one for your out to your hose reel or to your gun, or however you're gonna plumb that. And so we'll set that one there, and then we do the same thing with this one. The clip is, top one goes down, bottom one goes up, and then you can pull it out. This is already plumbed to the bottom of the mixing station, so you can just kind of take that and set it aside, and now you can get your drill in there very easy, very straight, to drill your holes. Hey guys, do me a favor, if you're getting value out of this or any of my videos, hey, give me a like, give me a comment, question, anything I can help you guys out with. I try to help out as much as I possibly can. But also hit that subscribe button and hit the bell. That bell will give you a notification every time I come out with a video. But hit the like, hit the comment, give me a question, give me a comment, subscribe, and hit the bell. Thanks guys. So what I do when it's time to drill the holes is I just take my drill and make a mark on all four of these holes. Turn that valve so I can get the drill. And then once I've made my mark, I take the actual pump station off, set it aside, and I'll come back over here and drill my holes. Keep your drill nice and straight. and you want to drill slowly. Okay, so there's 1 hole, 2 hole, 3, 4 holes that we're going to drill. So I'll finish drilling those. Okay, so once you've got all the holes drilled, you're simply going to attach your lock nuts to the back of your bolts. On all 4 of them. And then once you've got all 4 of those done, you can tighten them all up. I'm not going to tighten this one up because this is a unit that's got to go out Monday to a customer. We've got about 20 or 30 of these we've got to get out in the next couple of days. So this was a good opportunity to take and show. So once you've got the bolts in, you get them tightened down, then you can put your manifolds back in, lift it up, slide it back into these holes. And we do have these manifold replacement parts if you ever break one. We had a guy that got a brand new unit the other day and somehow one of his broke. Let's see. Get the clip up, then we'll slide in. This one has to be down. So once you get it, this clip on the bottom, they always want to fall down, so you got to kind of hold it with a screwdriver or your finger. Get it in. That one's in, so we're going to shove it up. You hear it click. That one's in. We're going to shove it down. Try to keep my head out of the way of the camera. What I usually do on this one is get it pushed in and use a little screwdriver, get on top of it, if I can see. Okay, and there you hear it click, and that one's in. Then we'll put this one back in. We're going to lift this one up. That one automatically stays down, so let's get this manifold down. That clicks. This one up, you hear the click, and so they're secure. And now you can proceed with the rest of the plumbing. Okay, so now that we've got everything attached, your pump station is attached to the compressor or wherever you're going to put it. The next thing you want to do is take this little blue piece out of the bottom of that, and this is the side, this is the outlet. So this is what's going to go to your hose reel, or you can hook it directly up, but this is what's going to feed the hose reel and then to your hose. And so whether you ordered a 1/2 inch or 3/4 or whatever, you can put this in. And you do want to make sure this is off, by the way, when you put this on, because it's just a lot easier to get on. So I take it and put it and then screw it on. You want to put your dope on there too. We use the blue, true blue stuff. And so when you tighten it up, you just want to make sure you have this here and get this pointed wherever you want it. If it's going that direction towards your hose reel, or if you want it going that direction or whatever. So get that kind of set before you put the manifold back in. Okay, so I'm going to take this off. And this is, a lot of people ask me what size fittings I use, because we give the option of 1/2 inch or 3/4. I just use 1/2 inch on everything, going from the pump station to my tanks down here. 1/2 inch hose is what I'm spraying with, so I just use 1/2 inch everything, and works great. I've used 3/4 before, have never noticed any type of difference in performance or distance or whatever. So 1/2 inch fittings all the way around, up here, down here, 1/2 inch hose, all of that, 1/2 inch going to the hose reel. So that's what I use, and works great. So that's basically how you install the setup, the pump station to the compressor. And next we'll get into the plumbing it to your tanks. Okay guys, before I get into the plumbing of the pump station to your tanks, one thing that you also get, or should get, sometimes we forget it, but you should get a little yellow hose like this. This is going to go from the compressor over to the back side of the water air separator. Sometimes what I'll do is take this and kind of loop it and put it up here. But it's going to connect onto the back of the Tsunami air water separator. One thing you want to do is make sure you keep it off this pipe, because this pipe can get hot. So just figure out a way. Sometimes you can zip tie it there and run it like that. But that's one thing that you will get, and one thing, that's how the compressor gets the air from the compressor to the pump station. Now, one thing that I like to do is I like to go to Lowe's or Home Depot, and I get a 25-foot air hose with the same, you can get the same fittings that you need, and I will coil it up and kind of leave it loose and zip tie it. But coiling it up, that will kind of help when you get water inside the hose. That water will drop to the bottom and help keep some of that water getting out of the system. But the main reason I like it is the 25-foot hose is if I ever need to air up a tire on a trailer or truck, or use another air tool or whatever, I've got 25 feet that I can play with to use that. So that's something you might want to consider when you get yours, is just ditching this and get you a 25-foot air hose at Lowe's or Home Depot and use it from here to there. Okay guys, so it comes time where you've got to plumb your tanks to the actual pump station. And so what you're going to need is a hole saw like this, or hole drill, whatever. And you can pick up a set of these at Home Depot or Lowe's. If you're in the pressure washing business, you better have a set of these, because you're going to need them. So what you have to do is figure out what type of plumbing, or how you're going to plumb each 3 of your valves. I only plumb 2. This one here, this closest to the pump, is the water valve, and so it always stays all the way open. It never really changes unless I'm cleaning something really dirty and I want to get a 60-70% mix, and I'm going to turn the water down a little bit. But I always make this one my water valve, the one that's closest to the pump, and then this one that's on the outside is my bleach valve. This one here is a spare. I have it capped off with a dust cover. You can actually take this thing, you can take this and turn it by loosening the top of the valve if you wanted to, and turn it however you wanted to go. But we do it like this because I use it a lot of times for, like, I'll have some wrap when I'm cleaning exterior of gutters, or doing any type of oxidation restoration, and I'm going to use a tank just for that. I can hook this valve to a hose coming off of it. We'll set up going to a separate 5-gallon bucket or a tank or whatever. And so a lot of people like to meter their soap, and that's what they use the third valve for. I've never found the need to meter soap. I just add my soap directly to my bleach, and that just saves me a lot of time from having to refill a soap bucket. And again, no need to meter the soap. I've just never found the need to do that, other than it's just a waste of time to me. But everybody's different, so if you want to meter your soap, you can use that third valve to meter your soap. So that's how this valve is set for water. This valve is set for bleach. This valve is set as a spare. I have used this spare sometimes for a separate bleach tank on larger jobs where I know we're going to need more than, like, I use an 80-gallon tank, and so we'll leave with this one full and we'll fill up another one if we're going to need that much bleach on commercial jobs, big tile roofs on mansions, things of that nature. So if this bleach tank that this is plumbed to runs out, all I have to do is turn that valve off, turn this one on, and it starts sucking out of the other tank. So lots of versatility that you can do if you just leave this valve open and not use it for metering soap. That's what I have found. So let's get into actual plumbing here. So when you order your Kingslinger, you get the option to purchase plumbing kits if you want to. And that's basically your hose and your bulkhead fitting to install into your tank. I'm not going to do all of them, but I'm going to show you one, and then we'll go out to my actual Kingslinger on my trailer unit and show you what it looks like. But again, you're going to need a hole saw, and you're basically just going to drill down into here a hole. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to go ahead and drill this one because this is going to be for a build for a guy next week that it's got to be drilled anyway. So I'll go ahead and drill this out for you. When you get your hole saws, what you want to make sure that you do is don't use too big a one. What I like to do is take this fitting, or take the hole saw and actually put it over, and I don't want too much play between this, so that way it'll seal up real nice. So once you've drilled your hole, and always remember, before you put any liquid in your tank, after you've drilled all your holes, you want to make sure that you vacuum out the bottom of the tank because you don't want these shavings in there. Sometimes I'll use a little cup underneath it to catch them. But if I'm doing 4 or 5 holes at a time on a tank, I will just let it all fall and vacuum it out. So the bulkhead fitting comes like this. This is what it looks like, and you've got a small thin washer and you've got a big thick washer, okay, or gasket. So what you do is take the side that has the larger, thicker one, that's going to go up inside your tank, and you're going to put it in like that, and then the smaller one goes there, or the thinner one, and this will tell you up top how to tighten, which way is tighten, which way is to loosen. And I just kind of hold the inside of it against it and get this going. Once it's going, I know it's not going to fall through, and then tighten it up. Okay, now that's how you install the bulkhead fitting. I'm going to come back in here, take it out, and show you the plumbing kit of the pieces that you get with it. It won't be the actual full, but on the inside of the tank, what you can do is, the plumbing tank comes like this. It'll be, you order 1/2-inch hose. I think you have to get 25 or 50 feet or whatever. It comes with a little PVC 90 that you can put the hose through. That's the part that's going to go down at the bottom of the tank. So you want to cut your hose the length that you're going to need, and it takes sometimes a little cutting to make sure you get it right, because you want this sitting right off the top of the bottom of the tank, so that when the liquid comes in, see, this is sitting up and it's not going to pull trash in or whatever because it's sitting up off the bottom of the tank. You don't want it like that, then it can't get a free flow of the bleach down there. So what you do is, on the bottom, the part that goes on the inside of the tank, which is the bottom, because this is the part that screws down on the top, you will have a 90, a straight fitting like this that goes on the bottom. Of course, you want to dope it before you put it in there. Then you're going to slide your hose clamp on. You slide this on, heat it up with a dryer or a heat gun or butane torch or whatever, but get it nice and hot up to about this point. Well, not real hot, but you just want to soften this and it'll slide on real good. Then put your tighten your hose clamp down. And so what will happen is, let's see if we can get this on a little bit. Yeah. So what will happen is, when you put this into your tank, take a little small gasket off. It's going to go like this. And then put your small gasket back on, and then Tighten this down. You got it cross thread dug. Make sure you don't cross thread it. Get it going in the direction the arrow tells you to tighten it. So get your top on, tighten it all the way down, nice and snug, and then what you have in the bottom is your hose going down, and that's what's going to pull your solution up through the tank. Then in the plumbing kit you have a 90-degree fitting like this. And so you want to get that pointed whatever direction you need. And then you're going to have a 1/2-inch hose that goes from here. Use some of your 1/2-inch hose that goes from here to the back of your pump station onto the cam lock fitting. And then that's going to draw your solution up from here to there. And that's how you install the plumbing. You would do one for your bleach tank, and then you do another one for your water tank. And so that's how you plumb it. It's pretty basic and pretty simple. One thing that I do is I also install another one of these, but I don't have a hose going down into it. What I actually do on the underside, we'll take this off and show you. It's basically a vent that will vent the gases off if you need to. And so I actually just put a 90 in there just to kind of help keep bleach from going up inside the bulkhead. Tighten that down. And so what I would have is just a hose, 1/2-inch hose. You wouldn't have this 90, but a hose that will hook onto this, and then I run it down and I drill a hole either into the bottom decking to vent the bleach, and I'll show you that outside on my unit. And that just helps vent the gases and stuff so it doesn't corrode your equipment. Anytime you can fill your tank using a bulkhead so you don't have to continually open this and hold a pipe in or whatever to fill your bleach, all that gases come out, and that stuff is what attacks your trailer, your equipment, and causes everything to rust. So we fill ours through a hose, through a bulkhead, and then we also vent it. Hey guys, don't forget, give me a like, give me a comment, a question if I can help you out in any way. Subscribe, hit that bell. That way you get notifications anytime I come out with content. But I just did also want to mention that, you know, we have these high performance lubricant oils. These are the best oils to use for the compressor, your pressure washers, trucks, whatever. But you can get the right oil for this compressor on our website. It does come with a quart of oil, but it's a really cheap oil. I don't use that oil. I use only these brand for all of our trucks, all of our machines, just about everything that requires oil. We use these. So check that out on the website. Okay, one last thing on the valves before I go outside and show you my trailer, how it's plumbed. I talked to you about this water valve always stays open, so when you get it, if this arrow is going up, you're going to turn to the left. This is all the way open. You've got two arrows here. It can get kind of confusing. So the water always stays open. This is my bleach valve. So when I turn it all the way, which it's already on right now, so that would be off. So I get going, I turn this all the way open, and I get it primed and the bleach is coming through. That's a 50-50 mix. If this valve is all the way open, that valve is all the way open, that's a 50-50 mix. If you turn it about a quarter turn, you're going to get about a 40% mix. Turn it to where it's about, the arrows are like that, straight across, that's going to be about a 30. Another quarter, 20, 10. It's not precise, it's not, you know, totally dead on, but it's just kind of a guide to help you know what percentage to use when. If you've got a really dirty tile roof, you probably want a 50-50 mix. If you're cleaning a vinyl sided house, you may want a 10% mix. If I'm cleaning a vinyl sided house, I usually always just downstream it. I only use the dedicated pump if I'm cleaning really bad stucco roofs, anything that's got that black mold mildew on it. That's what this is used for. Basically anything that downstreaming is not going to get. So that's the plumbing, that's the valves. I'm going to go outside and show you how mine is plumbed. This is the air water separator. I do have another video on the compressor operation that talks about the air water separator, how to start the machine, what an unloader does, all that kind of stuff. So I'll link that above in the card so that you can click on it and see more about the compressor. Okay guys, here is my Kingslinger on my trailer rig. Sorry if it's dirty, but I was in Florida last week doing some hospital jobs, and so the guys had to use the trailer. Had a few days of rain, so everything got a little dirty from the water coming off the tires onto the trailer. But here you have this hose is what this looks like, the bleach valve, and it's going over to the bleach tank up top there. And then here is the water valve, and the water valve is going over to the water tank and is plumbed right there. So very simple. And then here you see I've got my third one capped off and only use it when we need to. The other option that we have also is you can get a drain kit if you want, which will hook up both of the drains on the bottom of the compressor. I talked more about that in that other video, but you always want to make sure you're draining the water out of the barrels before every use. And so we have a plumbing kit available on the website that you can hook up. It's very easy to hook up yourself, and all you have to do is turn this valve, and then it will release all the air and the water, and then turn it back down, it'll start building back up pressure. So just an easy way to drain both of them, so you don't have to be reaching under and trying to find the drain valves. So that's basically pretty much it, how it's plumbed. A very simple, easy operation. Just got to have the right tools, like the hole saw. One thing to keep in mind is if you are running your hoses and they're going to go up or down, in other words, if they're not going to go straight, then make sure that you get the type of fittings where you can, it's a female pipe thread coupler, and you can get 90s and have those go the right direction that you want them to go. But that's what it looks like. Bleach hose runs up to the bleach bulkhead fitting. The water hose goes up to the water fitting bulkhead. And then we actually have, I was going to show you, this is a trailer rig that we've built quite a bit of. I haven't been able to do videos because we just haven't had time, but that's the vent. So that's a bulkhead fitting with just a 1/2-inch hose, and it comes off, runs down the trailer. I've got a hose, and it just kind of vents out the bottom of the trailer. So that's how you do the vent. The other thing that we have is a hose here that we hook up at my house from our bleach tank. We have a FlowJet 5 gallon per minute pump hooked up to a compressor at the house that we use to transfer bleach from our big tank when we get it delivered. So we just hook it up to that, turn the ball valve, and the bleach fills in from the top, and there's a dip tube running down. So if we have soap in there, we're not going to get tons of suds coming out. Again, I have another video on that you can find on my channel as well. One thing I do want to mention too, guys, is if you're going to keep this as a spare, when you get going and you're priming your valves, take your water cam lock off the back of here, put it on here, and just prime this valve, turn it on, just get some water going through it. It takes about 5 seconds, and then you can turn the valve off. You just want some water in here, because if it has air, it can affect it can seem like you've got an air leak or whatever. So you want to make sure you get this valve primed and just have some water in it before you get going. Otherwise it'll just be spitting and spitting and spitting. Another thing you can do, guys, if you wanted to, this is an auxiliary gas tank that we have that feeds the pressure washer, the gas. So what we also did was we feed the gas from that tank to the Kingslinger. So we disconnected the hose that comes from the gas tank and goes to the fuel pump, and we just simply hooked up another hose. I think it's 1/4 inch fuel line hose that goes from the bottom of the fuel tank right there to here. So now we never have to fill this gas tank up. We've always got plenty of gas, never run out on a job, because we always have plenty of gas in that. So that's another option that you can do if you have an auxiliary gas tank. You can plumb the gas directly to the carburetor or to the fuel pump. Okay, guys, a couple of last things I wanted to talk to you about is these little things here. It's normal to see them condensate and have water kind of, not really drips, it just kind of bubbles up off of it. A little condensation is all it is. But one thing that also happens is the ends of these will blow out. These are mufflers. And so when that happens, you want to make sure, like on our truck unit, it's like this is right even with our head when we started or whatever. So you just want to make sure that you're keeping your head or body parts away from this, because when it pumps and it can deliver a little bit of pressure. So we're trying to get replacement mufflers. They're hard to get because they don't sell these individually for some reason. FlowJet doesn't. But just keep that in mind. It's normal. They're going to blow out. You're going to have water on them, so just be careful around them. The other thing is over here, you've got these 2 gauges. This gauge. All right, so my phone shut off. Let me pick it up again on the gauges. This gauge here, right here, that's the gauge that is going to tell you the amount of pressure that is inside the compressor, what the compressor is holding. And so this can get to 125, 150. It's just whatever the pressure is, 155 maximum. So if you ever see this go past 155, you probably have an issue. Not probably, you do. And so you got to get that checked. But so this tells you the amount of pressure that the compressor is putting out. This gauge here tells you the amount of pressure that you are sending to your tool, or to your, in this case, to your gun. So you want to keep this at about anywhere between 90, which is about right up in here, to 100. You don't ever want to go over 100. These pumps are only rated for 90 PSI. I have run mine at 100 consistently and have not had a problem, but that's up to you, buyer beware. You want to keep your pressure, 90 to 100 somewhere. I've got guys that have reported to me they run theirs at 80 and they get plenty of distance, 30, 40 feet. So that's what this gauge is for, and you can adjust the pressure here. And sometimes what I'll do, let's say I need an extra 2 or 3 feet or whatever, I have one of my guys, or I'll go over and turn this knob up into this dial will read about 120, and then I'll spray that area or that section that I need that little bit more distance. Once I get that done, I come back and adjust it back down. So that's what these 2 gauges indicate. This is a release where you can release the pressure out of the tank if you need to. I usually just release the pressure with my valve or my ball valve gun. just spray water out of it to release all the pressure if I needed to. So that's kind of explains to you what the gauges are. This one's controlling or telling you how much pressure is built up in the compressor. This one is telling you how much pressure the compressor is sending out here, out this way, to either your tool, or in this case to the pump station, which thereby is, tells you how much pressure you're spraying with out of your gun. So that's the explanation for that. And then this is the knob right here. It's got a little arrow on it that tells you to adjust it up or down or whatever you need. Hey guys, I've had a lot of people asking about these hats I wear that say pressure washing on them. We have these that have pressure washing on them. They have soft washing on them. These are bleach proof. They're great to wear when you're working. They're great to wear around in public. We also have t-shirts available that say pressure washing across them. I think we have long sleeve, short sleeve. They're in the ash gray, so they don't bleach out either. So if you're looking for something to advertise what you do in a broad, short, quick statement, these are great. I get people all the time that stop me and say, hey, you do pressure washing, can I get a quote? Whatever. Also an inexpensive way to get you a uniform going that states what you do. We wear these all the times on the jobs, but those are on our website as well, so check those out.